I think what's most disturbing about this particular comment is that it's received so many thumbs up by comparison to the other ones. I mean, this is actually disturbing in a very deep level, and I think that once you've heard what's in this comment and once you've thought about the actual arguments, I think what you're going to do is agree with me that this is actually deeply disturbing. Alright, I did a video very recently called YouTube, the place to go for recent dialogue and informed rhetoric, which was essentially commenting on a comment that was loaded full of explicatives, purely explicatives basically, you know, and it was only a couple of lines worth. It was just basically rudeness directed against me and directed against someone who actually cares for social cohesion, people of different groups basically getting on. Now, yes, it was about an emotive subject. It was about the alleged Ground Zero Mosque, which isn't a mosque at all. It's got prayer rooms for Christianity, for Judaism and for Islam, so it's not a mosque, and it is a community centre. The reply I've got goes something like this. So you're ready to run to the aid of the aggressor? No. I'm ready to run towards social cohesion, people of different groups, different backgrounds, different ideologies, getting together, focusing in on the things that they've got in common and not the things which divide them. This is what the alleged Ground Zero Mosque was about. That's why it has prayer rooms for Christianity, Judaism and Islam in it, as well as having places where people can get on, get by, study and have fun together. Alright, it's there to try and break down the cultural barriers in a emotionally charged area. I'm not running to the aid of the aggressor. I'm running away from aggression towards social cohesion, because if you don't have an action like this alleged Ground Zero Mosque, then there's going to be greater divisions within your own country, within the United States of America, here within the European Union. So there has to be opportunities for people to get together in harmony and work out in what ways they are similar rather than different. The comment goes on. Quick to ridicule the victims, are we? Certainly not. What I would like to happen is for the results of 9/11 to not be the spread of fear and hatred. I would like the results of 9/11 to be proving to the rest of the world that within the United States of America, as well as in the UK and the European Union, people of that nation are people of that nation. This alleged Ground Zero Mosque was a place that was set up for atheists as well as God-fearing people of three major faiths to be able to get on and get by. It's not there to use 9/11 as the starting point of a new civil war in the United States of America. It's there for people to meet together and to break down the barriers of fear which is separating them. Remember, this was set up by an American for Americans. Alright, it was not set up by someone who's just flown in from Saudi Arabia to declare that, you know, New York is now ours, and to fly the crescent and star above, you know, the whole of New York City. Get real and stop being so damn paranoid. The comment goes on. Do you have some German insignias sewn to your garments? Well, the short answer to that would have to be no. There is no German in my heritage as far as I am aware. And on top of that, that statement is suggesting that because I'm in favour of people getting on and getting by and finding their similarities and fighting against their differences, that I am somehow a National Socialist. Now, for me to be a National Socialist, I would have to be of one singular ethnic origin. I would have to be supporting that one singular ethnic group. and I would have to be campaigning for probably the removal of anyone else who is not of that particular ethnic group. My point is the diametric opposite of that, and if you can't see that, there really is something wrong with you. The comment goes on. Do you call the Jews right-wing because they don't run out and buy German cars after their demise? The Jews have not had a demise. If they had had a demise, then they wouldn't be around to buy German cars. There's now a Jewish state, for instance, so they're not really in a state of demise now, are they? Secondly, the number of people who died in 9/11 was substantially lower than the number of people who died in the Jewish Holocaust by a massive factor. The 9/11 attacks was not against a particular racial group, and it was a statement against American policy, as anyone should be able to tell. Yes, I do feel for the victims of 9/11. I do feel for the families of the victims of 9/11. Okay? But something which is a gesture of peace should not be misconstrued as a gesture of war or of some kind of Islamic victory. And yes, these days I'm sure there are Jewish people who are very proud to be owners of a Volkswagen. So relax, get real. Right, the comment goes on. It's been over 65 years and some still don't. Yeah, but many do. And for someone who is so obsessed with the idea that, let's say, a Volkswagen car is German, don't understand that these things aren't exclusively made in Germany now, are they? I live in the UK. We have Volkswagen plants around the UK, you know. It doesn't really matter too much now, does it? I mean, Skoda cars, they're also parts German, you might say. So it's more a question of that individual who's basically still got some kind of issues rather than anything else. And just because someone has got an issue doesn't mean to say that they personally represent in clarity and truth what's right now, does it? If someone's got a serious neurosis or a serious form of paranoia, are they really qualified to be able to make an informed political statement? Not really, no. So essentially what you're doing when you're making that statement to me is you're saying that mentally disturbed people should be the ones to state precisely what is real and right. Mentally disturbed people should be the ones who are the bastions of political ideology. They're the ones who should be laying down the law and telling everybody what they should be doing. Alright? That particular statement is saying that the lunatics should run the asylum. Alright? It's a very, very disturbing statement. The comment goes on. Do you really think that if someone gets emotional about the loss of loved ones, that means they're political right? No, I think people should get emotional about the loss of their loved ones. I think that's very important. It shows compassion, and it is important. But what has a statement for peace and a statement for racial and theological integration got to do with, you know, the issue of mourning your loved ones? Now, I do admit and I do agree that 9/11 has left a massive scar upon the American consciousness, just as 7/7 here in the UK has had the same kind of effect. And the Madrid bombings, of course, must have had the same effect with people in that part of the world. Sure, but we still have to apply our reasoning to the situations that we experience and the things that we find out about. And if we don't, then we are likely to develop some variety of mental illness as a result of our fear and our paranoia, which is going to override our ability to apply a reason to life. Some people can't understand what I'm talking about here because they've got serious issues. Alright? They've chosen to allow the terrorists to win. Namely, they become terrified. And they are in the mentality of someone who wants all-out war. Now, what good is this? I mean, seriously, how is that going to help America to be a peaceful nation within its own walls? How is that going to help Britain to be a nation of peace within its own walls? This attitude of the lunatics should take over the asylum is wrong. Just as the fundamentalist extremists are not those who should tell everyone who is a Christian what to do, what to think and what to believe. Just as all those who are fanatical Islamic people should not tell all the other Islamic people what to think, what to do and what to believe. Because they're wrong. Because they've got something wrong with them. And that particular statement, which has got so many thumbs up on this one particular video, is encouraging people to listen to individuals who have developed a mental illness to take control. This is very serious stuff. And the comment goes on and it says, "You don't even know what that means, you're both arrogant and ignorant." So this comment is from someone who thinks that peace within a nation is something which is not worth working for. That peace within a nation is something which is inappropriate. And it's arrogant to assume that the people within that nation, whether it's Britain, whether it's America, whether it's anywhere within the European Union, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, anywhere, have some kind of right towards peace. And that the peace within a nation is wrong. To be honest, I'm actually appalled. I'm seriously appalled by this. Now, if you care, even remotely, for peace, then basically what you've got to do is you've got to support this initiative to build this community centre. What you've got to do, if you care for peace, is to think about groups and individuals getting on and finding out where their similarities are and fighting against their differences, and not bringing people into this stupid and insane state of mind whereby the lunatics should take over the asylum, that the lunatics should define how people should think, that all the mad people who've got issues are the people who are right, and that statements of peace and harmony are wrong. What is wrong with you people?